Okay, we're at the West Coast Classic Cougar World Headquarters front lawn today. The reason we're doing it out here is I want to focus on the interior of this car, and getting some more natural light, it's better to do it out here. So this is my daily driver. It's just a little 302 two-barrel, semi-restored, we'll call it fixed up in the 90s, low-mile car. And I'm a stickler on original interiors. I'm great with upgrades on wheels and this, that, and the other, and motor and technology, but when it comes to interior, I want an original look. So I'm gonna walk you through some ideas on how to make a good interior on a classic car a great interior, and some of my favorite things to install. Here we go. Okay, one of the first things I notice when I get into a classic car is more times than not, the silvering on the mirror has gone bad. I'll call that age spots. You know, I got enough going on here as the years pass that I don't need to add to the age of my face when I look at it. So, easy thing to do is to unbolt this mirror and peel this lens out and put in one of our restored lenses. We sell them on an exchange basis. If you got a good original mirror, I would resist buying one of the reproductions. Let's just restore your glass or exchange it with one of ours and be done with it. Another thing, especially on these 689s, these mirrors just flop around. Every time you slam the door, you're readjusting. This is the easiest thing in the world to change. It's made out of a soft metal, and as you can tell, over the years, it splays out. It bends. So you could try to bend it back, but for just a few dollars, we have new ones on our website. Moving along, these little visor tips get as hard as a rock and they crumble in your hands. These ones are okay, but we have the correct gray ones. We'll be putting those on. I like my visors to stay in place. Also know that if your reproductions or your originals on the visors are sagging, there's a metal tube in here, and you can take this out and squeeze the whole assembly in your vise a little to keep that from falling down. Also, toggle tips. These are fine, but we have brand new ones. Don't settle for missing, cracked, broken toggle tips. If you get in here with some steel wool, you can clean this chrome, or we have replacements, and we have the tool to remove these bezels. Radio knobs. These are they're showing a little age. These are the unique 68 console knobs, and we reproduce them. We have, for a few dollars, just replacements, and you can also use these 6/8 knobs on your 6/7. And reality is they match your headlight knob in your 6/7 better than the radio knobs do. Here's an easy one to change. I like the deluxe buckles. Here, I've already done this one. You can easily snap this off and put the deluxe on. I don't know why, but even on your highly loaded XR-7Gs, sometimes you didn't get the deluxe bezels. I just think it adds a nice little extra flair to have this chrome bezel on here. And oftentimes this starburst decal is missing, so we have those. That is an easy change out. This clock is tired looking. They always get cracks right here because people think that this little knob that sets your rally pointer is a button, and they'll push on it and it cracks the lens. The guy I have rebuild these is the best in the business. He puts in a quartz movement, which will pretty much last forever. A new lens, he repaints the needles. He'll change out these parts that have bad chrome, or at least polish them. I think steel wool will just polish this one. Anyway, when they come back, they look fabulous and they work. I like everything on my dash to work. Even at their best, these decals never look that great, and as time goes on, they get really faded out. I like them to match this burl here. So we have the peel and stick decals that'll brighten this up. 6/7 is a little different than 6/8. You just peel them and stick them. If your chrome is pitted, we have the complete kits available. Have you ever noticed that your driver's side seat, maybe even your passenger side seat, leans a little on this side? A lot of people don't realize there was a factory recall. Many of these 6/8 seats were fixed, but a lot of them missed that recall. We have the reproduction piece that will put this back into alignment. It's kind of hard to get to. You'll have to pull the bucket seat. But let's talk about the seat itself. Years ago, somebody wanted to spend the extra amount of money and get leather on this car because they thought it deserved it, and it did. Nice car. But the problem is the majority of people doing leather upholstery these days can't quite get it right. Keep in mind there was 2 opposing grains of leather. Notice this is done in 1 grain. Also, see here where it's starting to wear the seat out from rubbing? That's a problem. But here's what I hate. They left the original foam in here. And after time, your foam does this. You'll be driving down the road and this will start emanating from under your seat. Some people can't even drive with their car windows down because it's so bad. Look at this, it's all over the carpet. Every time I vacuum this car, I have to deal with more foam fallout. Yuck. I'm gonna go ahead and reluctantly replace this leather with vinyl. Why? The vinyl is gonna fit better, it's gonna be on new foam, it's gonna have the opposing grain, and it's gonna hold up better to this leather. Leather never did, I don't know, most times you're lucky to get 100,000 miles in 10 years out of leather. So our reproduction vinyl kits, which are somewhat inexpensive, match the back. Notice the back has opposing grains of vinyl, much different than what was done on this car. Also, I always tell people it was kind of a, oh, I hate to say scam, but Lincoln Mercury wanted to say leather front and rear. No, there's not one bit of leather in this bottom seat. Vinyl, 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 this is vinyl, this is vinyl. Here's what they did just to be able to say leather front and rear. This piece is leather. I'm going to go ahead and only do the front seats. In most cases, you should probably do it all so it really matches. Plus, this back portion gets really hard and will crack in time. So my suggestion is do both together. This is a low mile garage car, so I'm going to see if I can get away with fronts only and see if you agree that it looks good or not. I'll let you be the judge. I want to do a few simple things to this dash. Number one, I've put plasma LEDs in the back, so my indicator lights are no longer working. Why are those indicator lights for the turn signals no longer working? Well, LEDs don't draw near as much as incandescents, so it's having a hard time triggering that flasher. So we're going to take out this dash, we're going to put in the LED flasher, and while we're at it, we're going to put in LED bulbs in here. Now your gauge faces may look cracked and weathered. This one is really starting to look that way. We do have the overlays to correct that. Here we have an incorrect wand. Inevitably, the one that was on there was probably peeling here at the tip. Just recently, they've made a more correct version of that wand. That's an easy $10 or less fix. We're gonna take this out and put the correct wand in there. A lot of people don't realize there's supposed to be a rubber cover on the high-low beam dimmer switch. The plainer models didn't get this, and on the Cougars they often fell off. It's a nice finishing touch to have that on there. While you're at it, make sure that your pedal pad on your windshield washer pedal is still intact. Okay. This opera light is actually way better than most. Notice how it isn't all pitted, but look at the paint in here. I'm going to change out this bezel, and then I'm going to put our LED plasmas in here. Notice how these illuminate yellow, while our LEDs illuminate a nice crisp white. These are super easy to replace, just that easy. Anybody can do that, and anybody can reach in and undo that bulb and put our LED plasmas in there. These Sill plates are reproduction. They have a nice shine and whatnot, but the originals were prone to damage, and these are even worse. It seems like they're a softer metal. Look, I can just dent it with my thumb. I, for one, being a big guy, when I get out of these cars, I often put the palm of my hand here and rotate out. I'm going to replace these with our stainless steel ones. Much stronger material, keeps its sheen nice, doesn't dent, doesn't scratch. They're not anodized. There's no plating to scratch either. So if you ever did get a hairline scratch in them, you could probably buff it out. Also, I like to put the accessory sill plates in here. Now these cars didn't come from the factory with that option, but it was the over-the-counter item you could get from Ford. And if you got scratches here or damage, it's a good way to hide that. And they tuck right in along this rocker molding on a 6.8. If you have an XR-7 model, you are fortunate enough to have 6 bulbs lighting up your interior. But even so, on these dark colored interior cars with no dome light available on these cars, they're dim. So I'm going to put 2 plasma LEDs here, and I'm going to replace these with plasma LEDs. So altogether, we're going to have 6 plasma LEDs, LEDs in the dash, LEDs in the clock. We're even going to do the door panel lights in LED. Look at that dim light there. We have a pretty nice steering wheel here, but do know that if your horn ring is pitted, we have them. Also, I think I'm going to change this out. This is a reproduction and it's chrome. You can take the reproduction and repaint it satin silver to match the emblem like the factory, or you can buy one of our used units. Some people think more chrome is better, but I like original. Now, here's a tip. This pad is nice and soft. Notice how it isn't all wore down from years of rubbing here. This is a low mile nice pad, but if yours has seen a lot of sun damage, you're going to notice you can't even get this piece to fit in there anymore. Well, I say don't cut your pad, but instead take this plastic piece and put it on the grinder and lose an 1/8 inch of material if you have to, so this will sit nicely inside your steering wheel pad. Even if your foam doesn't need to be replaced, you think, it might not be too far down the road before it starts doing this, especially if you're a heavier guy like me. The burlap is letting loose, and look at this. Just dry, crumbly foam. Come here and look at the floor pan. Be careful about driving your windows open if you have dry foam. This is nasty when it gets in your eyes. So earlier I was talking about the seats and how they lean back and they have a problem with the frame. So here's the Ford replacement part. Ford made them for both passenger side and driver side, although it's typically the driver side that's going to fail. The reproductions are only available on driver side. Good luck finding a passenger side. They show up on eBay once in a while. Here's the part number. So anyway, I'm going to just show you what one of these kits looks like. And we're going to have all these instructions on our website for you to look at too. So if your seat is leaning in towards the transmission tunnel, whether it's the passenger or driver, this is the easy fix that Ford had for you. So nice to have my seat fixed and sitting in the complete upright 90-degree squared off position. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it just seems like there's a little more of a metallic color in the reproductions as opposed to the back seat. So I'm still happy with my decision just because the back seat was so nice, and this does look more correct. It's sure nice having new foam too. It makes it much more comfortable. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you how to do a very basic installation of sill plates, but on these secondary plates, do know you'll have to drill holes. I assume, I've never tried, but I assume that you could double up on some two-sided tape on the back and just forego screwing holes into your car. Notice, like I was saying before, these are really thin, and I do believe they're even a softer material than the original aluminum. Look at that. I can just crumple them with my hands and just, you know, bend them like that. So your feet, of course, are going to do the same thing. Every time you let go of your seat belt, it's going to nick it. And like when I get out of the car, I'm always pressing here. So I'm not a fan of these reproduction sill plate moldings. I think this adds a lot of bling for not much money. You open the door to your car and show people, and it just looks finished and pretty and clean. And when I get out of the car and lean all my weight, or a lot of my weight on there, it isn't going to bend there the very first time. And when you let go of your seat belt, hopefully you don't do this, but sometimes your passengers do. Look at that. This stainless steel is less likely to ding and scratch. And if you ever did get a scratch, being stainless steel, you could probably polish it out. Do know this, when you close the door, you're going to see just a little bit. See that? You should be seeing paint there when you close the door, and you're seeing a little stainless. Now, on a 6.8, the rocker molding is kind of disguise that. On a 6.7, with no rocker molding, you're going to see that a little more pronounced, in my opinion. So much nicer. Okay, we want to get rid of these age spots here. Sometimes you can just peel these off with no hassle. Other times they're going to give you a lot of grief. I have another video that shows you how to get these off in all circumstances. And of all the ways I've found, a hot sunny day, leaving this lying on the asphalt outside makes this rubber the most pliable. In fact, I'm stuck right now, so we're going to go put this out in the asphalt. Okay, while it's still nice and pliable, let's go put our restored mirror lens in. Now the factory glued these mirrors in, but that is what in time discolors your mirror. So I choose not to glue them in. Know that in a rollover accident, this could come out and cause problems. So for safety reasons, you would want to use some mirror glue. Not just any old glue, it has to be for mirrors or it will discolor it even faster. So this one's nice and pliable. So I'm just going to work these edges around. And that looks so much better. And on this linkage arm, we sell them in both chrome and satin. Somewhere in the mid-60s, they quit putting chrome parts up here just because of reflection. And so satin was the norm. And I like satin because it's original. It'll be so much nicer not to have to readjust this every time I slam the door. I am liking that. Well, we've completed the interior upgrade, and I'm happy with it. Each day after we've completed a little more, I've driven it, and surprisingly, the thing that I like the most is having a mirror that's nice and clear, and the arm is stiff. Of all the upgrades, that was my favorite. Easiest to do, too. So one of the upgrades I'm not thrilled with is this overlay we put on here, and we know that it's not the same texture and grain and look as this, but it's so hard to find one of these that isn't faded, dented, or scratched off a parts car. So unfortunately, that's what we're stuck with. I like my emblem back to original. I like this painted silver instead of the reproduction that was chrome. I like that the chrome came out nice with steel wool. We just ran steel wool over all this chrome. That sure came. A clock that keeps perfect time and has a crystal clear lens. Love that. Notice I put a mirror in there. That isn't really part of the interior, but it's part of my enjoyment of this interior. I'm always, in modern cars, I'm always looking over there and using it. So when I'm in a classic car, I just feel silly. I'm looking over there all the time and there's nothing there. So I might as well get that taken care of. I love how it illuminates now, especially at nighttime. My gauges illuminate so much nicer. I love the bright, crisp light these opera lights give off now. The seat belts, I don't know why, it bugs me to see that decal missing, and I like the chrome buckle so much better, the feel and look of it. So for not much dollars, we really upgraded this. So I say share this video with your Cougar lover in your family. No, that isn't what I wanted to say. So I say, Cougar owners, share this video with your significant other, and don't tell them what to buy. Just say, hey, go sit in my car and then watch this video, and you'll know what to buy me for Christmas or my birthday or whatever. And so that'll be a good thing. So thanks for watching. I hope you got some ideas out of this.